no punches left to roll with. You gotta stay focused. You wanna
Let me
say
say
so.
so.
Hello, everyone.
Brandon, can you describe what you're wearing tonight?
Um,
I'm in
this
my
is
business casual. What do you just like? We're always opposites.
this is my ready for bed, can't be bothered by the ring light,
Chic.
pimple cream realness look since we our recording was pushed back an hour and a half and it's
Mm-hmm.
bedtime.
It
But
is
this is
bedtime.
okay. We're comfortable today. We decided we're in a plush robe. I feel great.
It looks cozy.
Thank you. Hey y'all. What's
Hey
up?
y'all. Welcome
It's the
back to
shade of it
Shade of It
all.
All.
I'm Brandon.
I'm Magdala.
I've been wanting low key to wear sunglasses because this ring light's so bright all the time. And I think I might. I feel like a completely new person. Th- This is
I
my
tried
alter
to wear my
ego.
blue light glasses last time and you called me a nerd, I want to say. So I was effectively peer pressured to not wear them.
I didn't call you a nerd. I said you look like you were ready to take your SATs because you had
Mm.
those,
And
a
what does
ball
that
cap,
mean, folks? And what does that mean?
because she had the glasses, a ball cap, and like a hoodie.
Why do you remember it so well?
Because I remember everything about you,
Was I
Maggie.
wearing a hoodie? It was a zip up, but
A zip
close
up.
enough.
Oh, excuse me, even more high school. But anyways,
Oh, one
uh
big episode tonight, Brandon.
yes, we're in our 2 episodes a week era. And
Mm-hmm.
this is episode 19 of season 2 of
Mm-hmm.
Love Island USA, the Casa Amor recoupling and the aftermath.
Mm-hmm. We
And
decided to just do one chat about this episode because it was so long.
true, and it was like an hour 28 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But quite eventful, very interesting. I'm excited to talk about it. But before we should do some slight pleasantries, not too much though, but a little.
Pleasantries.
Magdala, my friend, how are you?
Brandon, I'm fine, Brandon. It's really throwing me off that I can't see your eyes.
Good.
I'm gonna have to get used to this. I'm doing fine. I feel like not much has happened. Actually, a few things have happened since I spoke to you last.
Oh,
First things first, did you watch the premiere of Dancing with the Stars?
I saw some of it.
Okay, you saw some highlights.
Yes.
So Phaedra did her thing. She was
She did
shimmying
good. I
with
liked
her donkey
her.
booty.
Yes, and she
She
had like the
ate.
traders theme in the
Mm-hmm.
beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I
Thought it was
saw
cute.
her. I saw Alona.
Mm-hmm. I
I
love
was
her.
I was underwhelmed by hers. Um,
No, she looked real scared.
that's the
I
thing. I
love
wasn't
her. I
expecting
didn't
her
love
to
her
be
dance.
scared. I was like, but it is the first dance, so I give
Yeah,
grace.
yeah, the judges kept going like, for the first dance, you did great. For the first dance, you did great. And it's like, well, I mean, I get it. She's never danced ballroom before. She's a rugby player, so
Yeah.
it makes sense. But I get what you mean because she is such a confident person. Some
Mm-hmm.
people just seem invincible and they're not. So
No. And
I
she's
was like,
always doing like
oh,
funny TikToks. So I just
mm-hmm.
expected because she did Man, I Feel Like a Woman, and like she did some moments where it was like, oh, she was kind of singing to it, but
Yeah,
it didn't have the punch to it. But maybe next week. I'm sure she'll last a
yeah,
long time.
yeah. She should last a couple. I mean, there were a couple of people who were of older age who should be voted out sooner than later.
I
If
did
Alana
see,
and Phaedra went out before them, I'd be surprised. But they did good. They're just like obviously not as good.
yeah, I saw one gentleman that I don't know his name. I don't remember who he was, but it seemed he stayed kind of in the same spot the whole time.
Yeah, I don't remember his name. It's funny because I was telling some folks about him today that he's the guy who played the dad from Family Matters. So I was really
Oh,
excited to
okay.
see him, but he's like 72. He probably has like some muscle issues or something because he stayed in the same spot. Granted though, he still brought a decent amount of energy for staying in the same spot.
He did.
Um but I definitely think other folks should should be voted off before other people. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I saw who else I see? I saw the model, Brooks, and
Brooks, a
she
man
did
or a woman? Oh, a woman.
a woman. She danced to Piece of Me. Gleb was her partner.
So I didn't realize that Dancing with the Stars played for 2 days. We started watching it at like 8 o'clock and it was 11. And I was like, they're still going. Like there's a lot of people. So I
Oh
definitely
yeah.
missed a couple and I kind of just tuned into the ones that I cared about. I may have missed the model. I remember seeing the girl from The Bachelorette.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only younger girl I remember watching.
I heard hers was okay.
Yeah, she did all right.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, she did a little high kick though. She's flexible.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay. I saw one of the guys from The Bachelor, Joey or something. He did
Mm-hmm.
good.
He did good. He was moving his hips. I was like, okay, Joey.
Yeah.
And then Dwight Howard was in it too.
Oh yeah, I saw his on Twitter. He did pretty
Yeah,
good.
he did. I was like, okay. He was doing a little
Yeah.
dance by himself. They were like, yeah, they ate. They ate.
Yeah.
Theirs was definitely better than Phaedra's. I want to see Phaedra loosen up a little bit.
Yeah, she probably will, hopefully. I think she'll make it a decent amount.
Did you hear what she said?
That she's not taking any advice from any housewives because none of them won.
I'm dead.
I'm
She
like,
also, I didn't hear her say that, but she also said, she's like, I've always wanted to come watch my fellow housewives, but they never make it long enough. I was like, you're such a bitch. And I'm here for it, Phaedra. I'm here for it.
she's not wrong.
She's
As far as
not.
housewives, they historically, I think Lisa Rinna, before she was a housewife of Beverly Hills, was on because she was like an actress before. I think she made it far. I think the furthest one on Bravo was
Mhm.
Ariana with
Oh
top three.
yeah. Yeah, she made it really far. I mean, early on you can kind of tell who's gonna go the distance.
Yeah.
The older guy, his name is Reginald Vell Johnson, and he's
Okay.
72. So very amazing to step out on the
Right. Good
floor.
for him.
Yeah, very good for him.
What's
So
his
it'll be
name?
interesting.
Yeah, the Olympics player I also saw, and he was good. I forget what he does in the Olympics. Is he a
The
gymnast?
gymnast? Yeah, there
Yes.
was a guy who the yeah, first male gymnast to compete.
Mm-hmm. He did good. I was
Yeah.
surprised because
Yeah,
it
his
looked
was
like
good.
practicing he wasn't like that dancy,
Yeah.
but then he got better, and I was like, okay. Oh,
I was
and
actually
oh no,
I thought we were talking about him earlier when you said the Bachelor guy. He was the one who had a lot of rhythm. Like
mm-hmm.
his hips were loose. I was like, okay, you can dance. You're not stiff.
Yeah, no, the Bachelor guy, he did like a he had a cowboy hat.
Oh, he was like one of the first people. Yeah, a little
Mm-hmm.
underwhelming, but still, I mean, he had some energy. It wasn't
Yeah,
terrible.
and then of course Anna Delvey.
I didn't watch hers. How was her dance?
I mean, it wasn't the worst,
I was like, I know she's gonna suck at this. I
but
have a feeling.
it was pretty stiff. She did
Uh,
espresso, Sabrina
I'm
Carpenter.
dead. I'm dead. What did she
Um,
get? Because Alana
she
got an
got all
18.
sixes. So she got an
Oh, so she
18.
gets okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Can you explain how it works? So I know you can text to vote. And
Mm-hmm.
then do they reveal the votes that night?
Well, they used to do like someone would be eliminated the first episode and you would
Mm,
like vote throughout, which never made that much sense to me because I'm
mm,
like, what if like I mean, I guess if you like the person, you're gonna vote for them, but I feel like you should be able to see everyone before people can vote.
mm.
But I guess going forward, that's kind of how it is
Okay.
because it's kind of like you still vote for a certain time afterwards, and then I think you can vote more throughout the new episode or
Okay,
something
so no
like
one
that.
went home yet.
No one went home yet. Usually they do, they did at least last season, someone went home, but no, I think next week someone will start going home, I guess.
All right, so we'll
So,
see. I'll definitely tune in again. Obi
oh,
just
yes.
turned it on, and I was like, "Oh, I wanted to watch this. This is exciting."
Look at you, Obi.
Well, we just got YouTube TV. It's changing the game. You
Oh
can
my
watch Big Brother.
God.
You can watch pretty much everything. I
That's
was like, this is
amazing.
amazing. Yeah, instead of I was like downloading the CBS app trying to watch Big Brother live, the ghetto.
I love this for
Um,
you.
yeah, me too. Me too. It's a game changer. He got it for football, not for me, but it's helping. We both benefit.
Oh, yes. It's for both.
It's for both. I wanted to ask you about that. Oh, and we never recapped the VMAs.
Oh yeah. Um, it
Um,
happened.
very lackluster.
Very. There were some good ones. Sabrina Carpenter, good performance.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
It was, I mean, they were all kind of mid, Brandon. I'm sorry. They were all mid
They
to me.
were. Katy
Even the girl who,
Perry's was kind
Olivia,
of.
wait, who was throwing stuff? Camila,
Oh no, hers was terrible. Camila
her,
Cabello.
I was like, when she threw the laptop and it bounced, I started cackling. I was like, wait, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to break. She's like, and then she threw it again, and she's like, and then I thought the girls were gonna break the glass. They're standing back. Can you imagine being a background dancer for her? The whole time she's standing in front of a camera, spinning it in a circle. You are holding up weapons that you don't use, and then you move to the front and pose with her.
Yeah.
Choreographers need to get better. And honestly, I'm most disappointed with Chappell Roan. It was so bad.
It was just underwhelming. It started good. It was like, oh, there's gates, there's a sword,
Yeah.
there's
And then she's
fire.
the crossbow, she shot it, and I was like, let's go. And then it was like, wait, what are these men are wearing like flimsy looking armor. They're all really scrawny. And then they're like, and her outfit wasn't great either because my expectation for Chapel is for her to come out like she comes out on stage. And all of her outfits on stage are always like a 10 out of 10. And this
Hmm.
like armor thing, well, like I get it. You're like, what?
Joan
Jane
of
of
Arc.
Joan of Arc. Okay. But like, I don't know. I feel like she could have did it better. And then
Hmm.
I was expecting because she's so artsy and she's so herself. I was low key expecting like the Lady Gaga VMAs performance where she bled on stage and was like doing
Oh
all this
yeah.
stuff. That hands down is my favorite VMA performance of all time. I was
That was
obsessed
an
with it.
amazing one.
Amazing. And I low key expected her to hit the same way. So my expectations were just too high, I guess.
It's just, yeah, because Meg the Stallion, hers was good, but she wasn't like rapping like we were
Mm-mm.
saying. And it was
Mm-mm.
just like, I mean, she was, but then there was a lot of times where she was just like walking.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I thought she was a good host.
yeah, she was a good host and she looked good.
Yeah.
And so, overall it was mildly entertaining, the VMAs.
I was expecting more, honestly. I was a little disappointed, but overall, I think it gave what it was supposed to. Like, I liked Chapel's acceptance speech. There were a couple awkward moments, like the whole
Flavor
what's
Flav.
Flavor Flav. There was an awkward moment with I don't know, just a lot of people seemed unprepared. Like they didn't rehearse or they were like missing cues. Like a lot of the people who were like um giving the awards or announcing the next one.
Yeah.
It was like, did everybody do this last minute?
I don't know, but it did feel
Mm-hmm.
like it. But
Mm-hmm.
some people tried.
Yeah.
And
The stage was really cool. The big giant moon man was really cool.
it was
Mm-hmm.
it was something. I don't know why Eminem opened.
I guess it was like reminiscent of another time where maybe he opened. That's why all of those guys were wearing blonde wigs.
That's my other thing. There's too much, and people have said this online, there's too much reminiscing. I'm like,
Can
can we do new?
we focus on the current things?
Like
Yeah.
Tate McRae, why are you wearing like a Britney Spears inspired outfit to the red carpet and then like
Mm.
doing other stuff that's inspired by Britney Spears? Like you should be establishing yourself as Tate McRae.
Who is this person?
She sings the um that greedy song. It's
Greedy.
obvious that you want me, and I would want myself.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Cause
I'm
you
looking
know
at
I'm
her.
greedy.
Oh, she's pretty. Yeah, Brittany specifically, like, I don't know. I mean, she didn't do it at the VMAs, did she? Or is that what you're saying? At the
She
red carpet
At
for
the
the
red
VMAs?
carpet she did. She didn't perform, which surprised me.
Maybe because it was the 40th year of the VMAs, and so they were like recreating stuff other people did, like Meg was, and then what's his name? Eminem did. They were
Okay,
like showing
yeah,
old clips.
I could see that
I don't
potentially.
know. I don't know. It was kind of sad to see those clips of Britney back in her golden days.
Yeah.
Um, but I think
Uh,
overall the show was okay. I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10.
same. I'll agree with that.
And then like they're obsessed with Taylor Swift. So, I mean, which is fine. Who's not obsessed with Taylor Swift, right? Like everywhere Taylor goes, you
She
need the
shouldn't
camera
have
on her.
won those awards.
You really you think so?
Fortnite is not the song of the summer. It's the
Oh,
most,
that sad song with Post Malone?
yes, it's the most mid song. And like, it's not a bad song, but it's not amazing or like
Yeah.
award worthy. It's just like, fine. For a fortnight there
I
we
never
went.
had even heard of it.
Da-na-na-na.
So
Well,
I
there
don't
you
know. I
go.
feel like since Kanye took that award from her, the VMAs has been obsessed with her. Like when it like it's like Taylor's
Mm,
award show. It's like, oh my gosh, someone's performing. Let's see what Taylor's doing. Oh my gosh, Chaperone's on stage. Let's see what Taylor's. And it's like, why is the camera always panning to Taylor? There are no other celebrities in the room.
no.
I guess not.
Well, my main thing is Taylor, they tend to always go to her with every award show because she's always like dancing and like
But the whole
supporting.
time, if I
What
could count, it was a lot. I'm
it
gonna say it's
was,
more than like 15, maybe
and I think
20.
what offends me more is she's so rich, yet she still has no taste,
In
no
clothes?
style.
Oh, Brandon.
And she
Strong
looked like,
words.
I'm like, you're on your Eras tour making millions, and you look like you shopped at Hot Topic to wear a plaid,
Liked
awful
it.
Maggie.
I
Don't do
like it.
this. No.
I like You're like, don't do this.
Don't do this.
I liked it. No, the plaid
No.
thing was cute. I don't know what she was wearing during the show. I didn't like that. But the plaid thing that she wore on the carpet was cute.
She looked like she Googled how to look edgy. No. The hair and makeup I liked, but that's it. People are
I don't
saying
know.
because I think Reputation Taylor's version is about to drop. So this was her nod to that.
Oh. Hmm.
Um, which I did like the
Interesting.
Reputation album. So I am looking forward to that. Because
Yeah.
you know I hate on Taylor, but I do like her music.
He's a
So
fan. Brandon is a fan.
I'm a fan.
All weekend, folks were like, "Oh my gosh, Taylor Swift." I was like, "I've heard all her songs because Brandon makes me listen to them." And then they're like,
Oh,
"Oh my gosh, have you heard Sabrina Carpenter?" And I was like, "Yes, not by my own volition, but yes, like
my
you,
friend Brandon
my
plays it
friend." And
constantly.
well, I was no, I told them you made me watch six music videos, and they thought it was hilarious.
Oh, this is true.
But it was
uh,
it was overall just okay. I was like, we didn't get to debrief these together. We were texting each other the whole time. I was like, Brandon, did you see that? Did you see Tyler? Did you see Tyler's face? So
Tyler,
awkward.
Tyler had some awkward moments. She looked good,
Yes. She looked
but
great. She was like, hold this trophy for me. It's too heavy. I mean, it did look really heavy. So I don't hate on her for that. But there was a moment the camera panned to her and she's just like, and I was like, Tyler.
I can't. That was too much.
There were a lot of moments like that where something would happen and me and Obi would be like, did you see that? What? What is going
It's
on?
becoming unhinged,
It
the award
is.
shows.
It is. Nobody is prepared for anything, but
Um, but
oh,
we'll
and then
see.
Chapel. Oh my gosh, I was joking with Obi. I was like, fuck you.
Oh,
Because
because
of
she
her.
yelled at the photographer. You
Yeah, there was
shut the
a.
fuck up.
Yes, that's what it
Not
was.
me, bitch.
And she pointed hard. Oh my gosh. Chaperone is really showing us she's not the one or the two. Don't fuck with her.
No.
You
And
shut the fuck up. She was hard point. She was like, you. And then they
yeah,
said something else. And the poor stylist was like fixing her dress. And he's like,
right.
de-escalate. They didn't look like they wanted any smoke. And Chapel was like, no, I just had enough. So she
Which, you
told
know,
somebody.
fair. She's a funny one. The internet's some starting to turn on her because of her comments we've talked about before.
Yeah.
I will say because she keeps saying more stuff about like creepy fans and all that, and like that's totally valid. And I think some people need to like relax, and you're acting that negatively to her saying she doesn't like fans and you're showing why. But anyways, I will say one thing she said. I was like, okay, Chapel. She was like, it's kind of annoying that now I'm popular because I've been at this for a long time. And it's like, why didn't they do
Oh,
this sooner? I'm
girl.
like, now maybe I'll give slight benefit of the doubt. Sometimes written words translate differently. Maybe when speaking, it was more jokey. Like, I can't believe y'all didn't find me out before.
Oh.
Like something like that, the
Okay, you're right.
tone.
Tone means everything.
But also, if not, relax, girl. You're bigger than ever. So, like, it happens.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh,
You know what? Chapel, protect your spirit at all costs because when you are yourself, everybody loves. I think her comments about people being creepy are 100% valid because people are
mm-hmm.
creepy.
They
But
are.
if I mean, I understand low key why her music is taking off right now. Her first album was terribly depressing. It's very sad. And it doesn't even sound like she was doing like a sultry kind of thing before, and now it's pop.
Oh,
Like those are two different genres.
it
Um,
is. And she
and it's
almost
gay
has like a
pop on top of
retro
that.
sound, a
Mm-hmm.
little, and Gen Z, and like, no, I'm gonna sound like such a fucking old person. The Gen Zs, they like to look at old shit and bring it back and act like they're different. But
Honestly, you're not wrong because a couple of Chapel Roan's songs sound like Taylor Swift songs to me.
they do. I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't be surprised if Taylor Swift was in an inspiration to her.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift has written fucking a million songs, so she's
Mm-hmm.
bound to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then Lana's an inspiration for a lot of them, but
Mm-hmm.
that's also
She
another
wasn't at the
topic.
VMAs.
I don't think she's ever at the VMAs.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. I think she's like strictly Coachella.
She's like
I'll go to
Coachella and
that one.
sometimes the Grammys when they
Yeah.
feel like snubbing me.
Yeah.
Norman fucking Rockwell should have won a Grammy for Album of the Year. Just saying. Anyways, uh,
Mm.
but
That's
can't win them
our
all.
that's mostly the social media happenings I care to talk about. There's a couple things that happen that I do not want to talk about. We can go into Love Island. I don't want to talk about Diddy.
Oh no, I wasn't, maybe
No airtime for you, Diddy.
no. Bye bye. Um, you're going to jail, mate. Um,
Basically, and it's like have fun going to jail because you're an icky person.
right. Yes, let's jump into Love Island, but
Love
I do feel, with our relationship and like being on the podcast, it's fun to drop things to each other live and in the flesh.
Oh, what are we dropping?
So, it's just like Maggie needs to look forward to the fact that November 2nd, I'm gonna
Wait.
be her neighbor.
Oh my gosh, that's why you were asking me questions. You're
hmm
so funny. Brandon did send me, he was like, what building do you live in? And I told him, and he like sent a gif of like a guy kind of looking sneaky. And I didn't think twice about it because you're always sending me gifts.
This is true.
November 2nd.
hmm
Oh my gosh, I'm
It's
so
not your
excited.
building, but it's close. I'll tell you off
Yeah.
air. But
Oh, we're
it's
gonna be neighbors.
honestly, it happened so much quicker than I thought it would. I think because
Yeah.
they have a new lady there.
Yeah.
That young girl
Um,
isn't there anymore.
oh, okay. They kind of go through front office people
Well, because
quickly.
literally I looked like Sunday because I was like, let me look because it's around the time I told people I was going to be moving out and I do need to move out soon. So let me look real
Mm-hmm.
quick. And the unit style was available for move in November 2nd. And I was like, okay, that gives me like a month and a half. Let me just apply. I'll probably have to call them or something, but let's see. They literally called me like noon on Monday. And then
They're
like,
like, "Hey, we heard you want to move in. Are you ready?"
right. I'm like, oh, sure. Like, and they were like, send your pay stubs and all this, and I'll send you all the other stuff to send. I'm like, perfect. They kind of gave me
Yeah.
the runaround on one of the things. It was like the employee verification. Like, they were like,
Mm.
you'll sign the top part, and then we'll reach out to your employer to sign the other. And I was like, okay, but like, I sent my pay
Sign.
stubs and bank statements. It was to
Yeah.
like confirm my
That's
salary or something.
that must be new. Oh, I
Well,
guess
that's
people are
what I
faking
thought.
pay stubs.
Right,
I
because
didn't have to do
our
that.
other friend or my other friend Mackenzie that lives there, she was like, my employer never had to sign anything. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I didn't think they would. And then my supervisor was like, I don't think I'm like eligible to sign. I think it would have to be HR. And then HR was like
Mm.
giving me like this like a device the leasing office would use to look up things. And I'm like, but they said they need a signature. But then after all that, like the next day, they were like, oh, actually, you don't need it because you provided this. And I was like, well, I had asked if I would need it because I provided that, but it's fine, I guess.
This is a nice ass apartment, but I will say management is a little unorganized.
Mm.
Granted, typically when they make a mistake, they make up for it. Like this year, they did something weird with our lease. And we were like, wait. And they're like, it's okay. We'll just honor your previous rent and not raise your rate. And we're like, cool. Like they
Great.
make up for their mistakes. Or like, oh, they try to argue with us because we left our trash cans out. We should have been fined. And Obi was like, but I didn't know we would get fined. And they took it off. So like they're really like low-key pushovers that make mistakes. So it's like,
Yeah.
so that's annoying. Mentally prepare for like a couple of things, but not detrimental where it's like, oh, we moved you in and somebody else moved in at the same time. It's not gonna be a big thing, but they're kind of
Right.
unorganized.
I figured, and the lady's very nice. So it
Mm-hmm.
was fine. It was just
I
like,
can't
I
wait.
know, it's so
Oh, okay. I'm gonna
exciting.
clear my schedule that weekend. What
Oh
day of the
my
week
gosh.
is that?
I think it's a
We're
Saturday.
gonna have a move-in party, and then I'll be starting to go back to F45. We can
Oh,
carpool. We can
yes,
go together. I can knock on your door and be like, "Are you up? Are you ready?" I'm gonna be
I
at your house
am.
all the time. Oh, and then we can work on recording in
I was
person.
just about to say soon, y'all will be in the flesh.
Stay tuned. You'll see more than our faces, maybe. We'll figure out
Yes.
our
You
setup.
see
I'm
our bodies.
excited. Yes.
uh,
Oh, this is exciting.
it is. I'm low-key nervous because it's just so expensive.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the cheaper ones, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Apartments just are so expensive these days that it's
Mm-hmm.
like stupid. Everything's
Mm-hmm.
expensive. Houses are expensive, apartments are expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Basically just living's expensive. So it is what it is. Um, and then I gotta get a bunch of new stuff. So I need but I have a month and
I
a
could,
half, which I
yeah,
like
and I can help
because
you look. We could
oh
also go
yes.
thrifting a little bit if you want to thrift like some tables or anything like that's good to thrift, like some furniture that you don't,
Mm-hmm.
not any cloth material, but like regular shit we can
Yeah.
thrift. There isn't like the grocery stores nearby, I feel like are pretty fair. Like there's an Aldi right across the street.
Yeah. I
Like
want to go there because I hear Aldi's good and I've never been to an Aldi. I went once with you actually when we would back in the day in college, Maggie and I would cook dinner together at her
we would,
apartment.
and by we cook dinner together, I would cook dinner.
I
But
would do
yes,
some
it
parts of
was,
it. Don't play me. She's playing
no,
me.
you and Astro would like watch a whole movie, and I'd be like, the food is ready.
I don't agree.
That's so
uh,
funny. But yeah, no, we can cook together. It'll be great, Brandon.
it will. I'm
I'm
excited.
excited. It's gonna be fun. I think yes, the cost, but I think your peace of mind, your independence will be beneficial for you as well.
This
And you
is
can
true.
always
This
go
is
home and eat
true.
dinner if you need to, or come to my house. I'll feed you.
Yes, that's true. I mean, I'm gonna try to enter my cooking era more and
We
all
should cook
that. We
together, or I'll come
should.
over and help you cook.
Oh yes,
Because I really hate lugging things around. That's
Oh yeah.
annoying. But I'll come over and cook with you. Be like, what are we making? And honestly, I try to I really overdo it with meal prep. Sometimes the simplest things are better. Like yesterday, I made spaghetti and meat sauce with ground turkey. Like, less is more. We don't have to redo make kale chips and shit. Like, we can eat simple things.
This is true. Although kale chips are good, y'all.
No, they
Sometimes I
are
like to
good.
make them. But
Oh, and then I wanted to tell you that Astra helped me pick a pair of shoes from the list. So
oh,
I will be
did she?
purchasing shoes.
Okay, good. Thank God.
We're in the
About
process.
time.
I
Maggie's
I
finally getting
have
some
the pair of
shoes.
shoes in a link on my phone and will soon press purchase. Hopefully by next week I'm wearing them.
I believe in you. I'm glad that you picked out a pair and that it's gonna happen. Maggie's
Me
foot will be
too.
healed in no time. Watch it heal
Hopefully.
so quickly after wearing these shoes.
It's like these shoes magically heal my feet. We'll
I'm
see.
like, oh my gosh, that would be your luck though. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yes, so that's all our fun little tidbits. Me, Maggie, soon to be neighbors. Stay tuned for so much fun things to happen and be in
Yeah.
store for this
Watch
podcast.
us stop being friends. It's like too much content.
Maggie, don't put that into the ether.
I knock on wood. It's okay. Not the ether.
Don't put it into the
Um,
atmosphere. Uh,
no, I think I'll really love it. It's kind
and
of
it should
lonely
be
out
good.
here in this area, so I'm so
Oh my
excited. I have a
gosh,
friend
I
who's
didn't know you felt
nearby.
lonely, Maggie.
Now that I think about it, I am really alone all the time. No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
I
soon you
live with my
won't
partner.
be.
It's not that bad, but having a friend super close, like across the street, that's crazy.
Hmm.
It's reminding me of college days.
Oh yes.
Anyway,
Well,
let's get into it.
we're gonna get into the episode now. Episode 19, Love Island USA Season 2, Casa
Mm-hmm.
Amor Recoupling. Uh, what
Woo!
an episode, what an episode. Um, but just real quick before we start, some of these men, they have a lot of audacity.
They
I,
really
I
do.
was like, all right.
I
But
think we should call it the audacity of it all instead of the shade of it all. Cause what?
no, but for real. Okay,
No, for real.
let's get into this. First up, last episode ended with them at the fire pit, and Ariel was just like, "Oh yes, you'll have to decide if you want to stay with someone, and then your guy will
Mm-hmm.
return." So first up is Moira,
Mm-hmm.
and she quickly decides to couple up with Aaron,
Uh-huh.
which made sense. But then as this episode progresses, it's kind of like, but wait.
No, she really confused me. I think she was posed a question, who would you like to couple up with? Usually the girls give their reasons and then say who. And she's just like, Aaron. Oh, and they're like, okay. And I thought it was cute,
It
but
was.
I don't really understand Moira this
No, I
episode.
don't, but I'm kind of obsessed with her
I
because
knew you would still like her. I was
I,
like, well,
I get her, but I don't. We'll get into it,
we'll
but
get into it. And then they proceed to ask Aaron no questions and they both sit down.
right. Sometimes it's just like they don't ask any questions and it's just like quickly switches. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, no
All
follow
right.
up, that's fine.
Sure, sure.
Then with Moira, Calvin shows up and he's decided to recouple with Cher. And which shouldn't be surprising based off Casa Amor.
Mm-hmm.
He was telling us he wanted to do this pretty much, and I didn't see any chemistry and didn't make much sense to me, but
Nope.
they,
Nope.
it was heading in that direction. I will say Moira did look disappointed, which was confusing.
Yeah, it's like, did you want him to come back single even though you'd pick someone? Nah, yeah. I looked at her, I was like, what are you upset about? And then they asked Calvin nothing. I don't
Yeah.
even think she said hi. I don't think Ariel said hi to Cher.
It
She's
was
like,
low
okay,
key
sit down.
awkward because, like, with season six Casa Recoupling, I feel like it was more like involved. There was like emotions, there was at least
Mm-hmm.
acknowledgments between the people.
Mm-hmm.
With this one, it was almost like they were like in two separate dimensions, like not
Right.
actually interacting with each other.
Right. And this is like an hour and a half episode. Y'all have time. Because I was like, maybe they cut it for time, but that doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
What
they
else are
could
you
have,
spending time on?
right. They could have extended the recoupling, but
Mm-hmm.
whatever, CBS. Um, Kiersten's next. Now, I will
Kirsten.
say, I kind of anticipated, I mean, watching Casa, we could have anticipated this, but this was remember I said there was a TikTok that came across like Love Island best moments.
Oh yeah.
It was when Carrington came back. At first, I didn't
Wow.
recognize, I was like, is that Kiersten? And then I saw Carrington and then someone walking down the stairs, and I was like, fuck, let me scroll real quick.
Oh, is that the spoiler you saw that you didn't understand?
Yes, but I
Okay.
didn't see who he brought back.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, yeah.
But with that, so Kiersten, she decides to stay true to herself and remain single and like wait for Carrington. And she's okay with standing alone,
Yeah.
which I don't think she actually is.
No.
but that's fine.
It's fine. I felt like Ariel was throwing shade. She's like, so before Casa, you guys decided to go separate ways. And then Kiersten's like, I'll stay alone. And Ariel goes, okay. So even though you're just friends,
Even though you guys
you're
decided
still
to be friends.
you're still deciding to stand alone. And Kiersten's just standing there. And it's like,
Kirsten's like,
girl, you kind of set
yes.
yourself up a little bit.
She did. I feel like if she really felt someone in Casa, she would have picked someone. So, like, I guess to an extent, I respect that she didn't just pick someone to pick someone.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like the guys that she would have picked were picked by other people. And so that also limited her options because she was eyeing Aaron and she
She
was
was.
eyeing Jalen. So I thought
Jalen.
that was interesting.
Mm.
That, you know, and Moira even told her, I want Aaron. And
Hmm.
she said, okay, okay, you can
I'll
have
back
him.
off.
Mm-hmm.
She did.
So,
So she's alone.
mm-hmm,
I'm like, okay, respect to you, Kirsten. And then Carrington returns. And this is where I'm sure the producers had it done this way, but given that
mm-hmm.
it's Carrington, fuck Carrington.
Right.
It's like, oh, he's alone. And they're like, oh my gosh, yes. I think even Justine was like, oh, yes, this is amazing. Um, but then he looks back up the stairs and reaches his hand, and down the stairs comes Laurel.
I was so surprised. I was like,
I
not
was too.
Mercedes? All the work, all the hours she put in?
I know, right?
Damn.
I
I
like
guess it didn't work, sis.
I was low-key shook that it wasn't Mercedes for entertainment purposes alone.
Right?
Imagine Mercedes back in
Mm.
the villa talking to Cely.
That's what I wanted to see, low
That was
key.
a
That would have
missed
been good to see.
opportunity.
And then I was like, maybe Johnny will bring her. I was like, Mercedes has to come. I wasn't ready to say bye to her yet.
I know. And
Uh,
like, it's funny
Bye,
too, because
Mercedes.
shout out to our TikTok, the Shade of It All podcast. I just posted one of us going over the passive aggressive confrontation
Uh-huh.
between Laurel and Mercedes.
Uh-huh.
And Mercedes was very confident that Karen Carrington were in a good place. So this is kind of funny
Yeah.
that he ended up picking Laurel.
It's crazy.
But Carrington went there and seeing that Kristen was Kiersten was
Uh-huh.
alone. He says he's shocked because they ended things romantically, but he still likes her and will be there for her as a friend.
Mm-hmm.
And I he just look, I get what he means, but he just came across like a dick.
Yeah, he's like, I mean, even though I told, basically, translation, even though I told this bitch I didn't want to be with her, I mean, I'll be nice to her, I guess. She's
Yeah,
here by herself.
it's fine, I guess. Like it's
I
fine,
mean,
whatever.
even though we broke up, I don't know why she's standing there alone, kind of
I
looking
don't
like a
understand this
dumbass.
at all, why she would do this. But like I said, like I like you, like I'll be there for you as a friend, like I guess, but like
Nobody wants your friendship. Oh my gosh.
you're barely good at romance. Why would I want your
That part.
friendship?
Oh, Laurel's in for a rude awakening. Such a nice girl.
She is.
Um,
But
And then Kiersten says she's not surprised because Ariel asks her, are you surprised? And she's like, no, I'm not. It's like, yes, the fuck you are.
well,
Um, she's like,
I
I'm not surprised it wasn't mutual. And then she like kind of her voice cracks a little bit. Like she's upset.
I'm like, I'm confused because she says she's not surprised. And I feel like she said in Casa, she's like, I know he's going to bring someone. But then it's
Yeah.
like, you also seem disappointed. So I'm like, maybe she was hopeful he wouldn't like anyone. But I'm like,
Yeah.
you're lucky he even came back.
That
He
part.
didn't want to leave Casa.
Nope. He wanted to live there. He's like, can I just stay in this villa? Y'all could record me here. Yeah, I think she was trying to do something and it just didn't work, and we'll go over that later. But then
Yeah.
Carrington said some shady stuff after she said that. Did you peep?
No, what'd he say?
They're like, "Oh, Carrington, like, tell us why you picked Laurel." And he's like, Laurel's
Oh,
independent. It's
he
like,
did. I
okay, I stopped
remember.
listening after independent. Basically, Laura doesn't need reassurance like that bitch Kiersten over there. I'm good on Kiersten. Laurel, she makes me feel great. I'm really happy with her. And it's like he kind of was throwing shade a little bit. I was like,
Yeah.
not independent is the first thing that you say.
he said like generic shit too, where it was like, okay, you're complimenting her. It's not even stuff like that's like personal to them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like traits as if like Kiersten doesn't have this, like you said, but Laurel
Yeah.
has this. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's just shitty.
Yeah.
Which he does get called out for later, which is
He
nice.
kinda,.
Kind of, you know. I will say though, he does look kind of shook throughout this. I think he really didn't expect Kiersten to be alone.
Yeah, and I think he's trying really hard not to be the natural asshole that he is, because he's just like, you know, and she's like, yeah, what are you getting at? Like, spit it out.
Right? I can't with him.
He's like, damn, this is a situation where I really look like a bad guy, and I need to like not look like a bad guy because I'm such a good guy.
I mean, look, I found this sweet Southern belle next to me, and
She's the
she's a
nicest girl
business owner.
ever.
I don't know what her
Hmm.
business is, but you know, it seems to be successful. Um, but after them, Justine is next. And she
Hmm.
goes with her heart and chooses to remain single and stay with Caleb.
Hmm.
But she does think it's a toss up if he does the same. And so Caleb returns, and he has no one. And it's a very sweet moment. You
Oh,
know, they like hug and kiss, and they're just both happy. And I'm like, oh, this is so nice.
it was so stinking cute. I was like, oh my gosh, I love you both. You both need to win.
I know,
The
right?
way that did you peep how Justine was like shaking? Like, as soon
He
as she
was.
made her choice, she had her hand over her face and it was like shaking. Sally was holding her hand. She started crying. Like, it
Mm-hmm.
was a lot for her, but she was so happy. But then they don't even ask Caleb anything and
They
they just move
don't.
on. I'm just like, you guys suck.
They're just like, oh, go join Justine. Okay, next. Sally,
Next,
get up.
Ellie, get up, hurry up. We got stuff to do.
She starts crying immediately, though. Sally. And she
Mhm.
says none of these Casa guys are Johnny. And she even, what I love about Sally, she's like, you know, I hope Johnny's single, but if the Casa girls were as amazing as the Casa boys were, I wouldn't be surprised. And I'm like,
Mhm.
Sully's just amazing. She never puts down a woman. She's just
No.
like very strong and confident and
Yeah.
just like so complimentary. And I just
Yeah.
want to hang out with Sully.
Me too. Be my friend, Sally.
Right. Also, shout out to Sully. Present day, she's like over 100 days sober. I don't know why she's like being sober,
Oh.
but like she's documenting it on TikTok, and
Oh,
she
that's
got rid of her bar
amazing.
cart and like replaced it with a coffee station, which is just up my alley. So I'm like, pop off, Sully.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But so she waits for Johnny, and Johnny returns, and we're like, oh my gosh, is he gonna shockingly bring Mercedes? No, he shows up with no one. And it's kind of like another sweet moment
Yeah, kind of.
given, kind of. But he's like, this experience um made me realize how deep my feelings for Sully are. And he starts to cry, and I'm like, is this crying out of guilt?
Mm-hmm.
I think it
You
is.
look, you look guilty. Never seen you show emotion before.
Right. And he gives a
Um,
long speech.
he does, and he says a whole lot of contradictory things.
Mm-hmm. But you know, they rejoice, and I think didn't it's this when he says to her, like, I only tell you, but it's not a big deal, I promise.
Oh, it was after when they like all get to talk.
Oh yeah. I was
He says
like,
it later.
okay, I was
But
about to say, because I was like, he threw that in there at one point randomly when it was not time to
yeah.
talk, and I was like, okay, Johnny, you could have waited.
Yeah. Well, Sally kind of asked him, but we'll get there.
Mm-hmm.
Here though, he was like gets emotional and he's like, she kept me grounded the whole time in Casa. Did she? Question mark. Then he's like, I thought about
Where was the
her and
ground?
missed her the whole time. And it shows Carrington, and Carrington just smirks. He's like listening and he just smiles. Like he knows what basically, if you don't tell that girl, I will. I will, Johnny. If you don't
Right.
confess, I'm about to tell her.
I'm about to expose. I'm not
Expose
gonna
your
be the
ass.
bad guy today.
Nope.
Um, well, speaking of, Mackenzie's next, and I
Woo.
want to set the stage for at least myself. I'm ride or die, Mackenzie.
Yeah.
I understand everything that happened, everything she felt, and everything she said this episode.
Me too. Me too. I was like, wait a minute, girl. Like, I they really want to portray you like you're crazy, and I just can't be bought. I can't be sold on that idea. I
I,
don't agree.
I don't either. And she stands up, she says, she's grown so much since day one, and she's realized with space and time that she wasn't being honest with herself and that her and Connor just shouldn't be together anymore. And then she decides to recouple with Jalen, and
Mm-hmm.
Carrington and Johnny and all the guys look shook. Like, oh my
Mm-hmm.
gosh, I can't believe it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, believe it. Uh,
Believe it.
so she picks Jalen, and then Connor returns, not alone,
With the
with the
bear.
teddy bear.
The way at one point he tucks it under his arms, and I was like, this is pathetic. That was my first thought. I was like, this is pathetic. This is like 80% pathetic and 20% kind of sad, but majority pathetic.
I was just dead that he had the bear. I was like, please spare me. Like, I can't.
I mean,
Okay. It was sad. I
yeah,
felt bad,
it was sad.
but I'm also like, I think Connor, similar to Carl from Summer House, is very comfortable being like the poor me victim
Mm-hmm.
and all that, and being the one like, oh, Connor, we just feel so bad for you. And he's like, yeah, I know. Like, it's okay though. While he's like cuddling the teddy bear, like, I
Right.
understand. And it's like, okay, but you want sympathy. That's why you're holding this bear,
I
but
mean,
whatever.
he doesn't know why she's not picking him.
This is
So
true.
I kind of understand. She put it in his suitcase and sent it to him. So he probably thought she's really gonna like this that I brought the bear. But I
Yeah.
think me understanding the whole story, I was like, this is pathetic. And I bet production told him, you should carry the
That's
bear with you.
honestly though, because I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't even think about it, or maybe it crossed his mind
Right.
and the producers were like, you should totally hold the bear.
I mean, he was doing confessionals with the bear. Like, I think they were really hyping up, like, hold the bear, Connor. Oh, she'll love it.
Show
Hold
you
the
love it. You
bear.
guys are strong. Make America think differently of you and
Yeah.
Mackenzie.
It's pathetic knowing the whole thing. Like, wow, they really try to make this man look like a poor soul. And it's like, but you were doing a lot.
He was.
You were doing a lot before this.
He was,
Uh
but he does say that he feels hurt and taken advantage of
what does
because
that
he chose to
mean?
be loyal. Right. I'm like, what do you
Who took
like?
advantage of you? Production
Who?
for
Pr-
making you walk with the bear?
Honestly, though, that's who he should be talking to.
Who took advantage of you?
Right. I
Do you
guess,
know what that means, Connor?
honestly. But he says he hopes the guy she chose helps her become her best self and that he's sorry he couldn't be that person. That part was kind of sweet and sad. But everyone's crying.
Yeah, no, even Caleb cries. I was like, wait a minute. But low key, the whole like, I feel slighted and taken advantage of, and I'm sorry I couldn't be that guy. Like, those are two different thoughts. You're mad, be mad. But then it's like you say something, like, I don't believe anything. I think Connor is an actor. Like, he's so manipulative. So, like, I low key feel like that was a manipulative thing to say. Like, I'm sorry I couldn't be that guy for you. Like, what does that even mean?
I
Like, why are
agree.
you're not sorry that you couldn't be the guy? Like, why would you be? She didn't pick
Yeah,
you, but you're sorry that she didn't pick you. No, you're not. You were actively trying to separate from this girl for a minute.
that
And
part. And you said multiple times. I mean, granted, they got through it, but I'm like, how long was it when y'all got through it? Like a couple days?
yeah, like don't act like it's been smooth sailing this whole time and you've been the best partner and you've been blah blah blah. Like to
Yeah.
say that like the sorry felt like a manipulative thing to me because they all say their goodbyes, right? They all
Hmm.
say their goodbyes, and they go to greet Connor, and Connor's smiling. He's like, "Yeah, guys, smiling ear to ear. Doesn't look sad. He's fine."
Yeah.
He was smiling with the guys. They all came to give him a hug. He's like, thanks, thanks, thanks. You don't give a fuck. You know
He
what I mean?
he did return the bear.
He returned the bear. I know she felt bad, which is
She
normal,
did.
but I don't think she has. I think he was milking it.
I agree. But we have to say goodbye now to Pat, Mike, and DeAndre. Goodbye, goodbye. You were bigger than the whole
I didn't even
sky.
recognize DeAndre. I was like, who's this guy with glasses?
Ooh. They
Say
didn't leave much of
bye.
an impact, but bye.
Bye,
Um,
boys.
everyone's consoling Connor, and Mackenzie's like, we need to talk. And he's like, at first seemed like apprehensive, like, it's okay, it's fine. And she's like, no, but we like should talk. And he's like, okay, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, y'all
Yeah.
should talk. What do you mean? But
Yeah.
whatever.
He said that he's not, he was like, I'm not mad. And she's like, well, I think you'll understand once I get to talk to you. And he's
Mm-hmm.
like, well, I just want you to be happy. And she's like, okay, well, let's talk later. And then Connor walks up to another group. Can I be the third wheel for a bit, guys? He goes up to like Carrington and Moira and them, and I'm just like, oh, Connor.
Connor. Oh, Connie boy, you'll be fine.
But then he contradicts himself later. Oh, but
Yeah.
this was when Cely talks to Johnny.
Oh,
So
yeah.
she goes up to him and she was like, I was spiraling. And he's like, really, why? And she's like, well, what if he, she was like, I just kept thinking, like, what if he's like kissing somebody outside of challenges?
And he's like, well, I did.
And she's like, what? And he's
I
like,
did.
well, what do you mean?
I just did. Like, it's not a big deal, I swear. It happened once. And yeah,
Okay, all right, we'll talk about it later. She was
we'll
very
talk.
level headed. Not her immediately telling him her biggest fear and it be on par.
Right.
That's
And
comedic timing.
it is. And Johnny, he did not win any brownie points this episode with me.
Nope.
Mm. But
Manipulative ass. That's the
hmm
name of the game. When in doubt, manipulate them.
it should be called Manipulation
Island.
Island. uh Connor tells the guys he doesn't even want to look at Mackenzie. And Caleb calls her a manipulative liar and that he has no respect for her. And I feel like this is
Wow.
interesting coming from a guy who allegedly has a girl outside the villa. I'm like,
Woo!
what a bold statement.
Very bold.
And then speaking of bold, Johnny wishes Connor brought someone so Mackenzie didn't have that moment. To which I say, an also interesting comment coming from someone who did her girl extremely dirty.
Right, who did his big one?
He did his big one in Casa Amor. But it's usually the ones that want to project off themselves
Mm-hmm.
that are the most bold.
Mm-hmm.
And also Johnny, of course, is looking at this like oh, well, she got this moment where you were left single and she wasn't, and like, I wish you wouldn't have given her that moment. And it's like, oh, so that's how we're looking at it. Okay.
That's all what does he care about? Your ego. That's what he
Mm-hmm.
cares about. He cares about people looking, himself looking
Loneliness
stupid.
tonight, my
Ego. That's
ego.
all he cares about. And honestly, I feel like we see that throughout this. Like he's really caring about himself and his feelings. But I thought it
Yes,
was really funny how Connor just told Mackenzie, "Oh, I'm not mad." To go, "Oh, I don't even want to look at her."
I
You
can't
don't
look
want
at
to
her.
look at her. I mean, maybe he just said that in the moment, but I was just like, well, you don't have to be fake too, Connor. Tell her how you really feel. Like, this is a perfect moment to be brutally honest with somebody,
Right.
right?
I think she would have respected it and understood.
Right. Mackenzie's 100% honest with everybody. You could give her the business if you
She's
wanted
does
to.
not spare her feelings or parse her words.
She doesn't. So it's like you could be like, actually, I'm really mad and I don't want to look at you. And she'd be
She'd
like,
be like,
okay,
totally, Connor.
I
Like, yeah, I
understand. But
get
like,
it,
let me know when you
Connor.
want to talk later.
Fun fact, Mackenzie works I don't know, I forget what capacity. I vaguely remember when it was announced, but then I found her on Instagram and saw again. She's somehow working with something about her.
Really?
I don't know if she does like
How?
social media or if she's like part-time,
Oh.
like an owner, like involved in that way. Like maybe she not the what's the word when not when you donate, but like maybe she invests an
Oh, an
investor.
investor, yeah.
Yeah, maybe she did that. I don't know, but it's also in her Instagram bio. And I vaguely remember when something about her opened,
You saw
she
her?
was like tagged in it or something.
That's cool.
I'm like, okay, bringing it back to Plates of Vanderpump Rules. Even in season 2, it
I
was
wonder if
set
she
in
was friend with
stone.
Ariana because Ariana has always been a fan of Love Island.
Maybe I wouldn't be surprised. And also, I feel like reality TV people, all of them know each other in some way because there's probably like
Yeah.
events and stuff, other
Mm-hmm.
shows.
Mm-hmm.
But Mackenzie is confused that the guys are upset because they were the ones encouraging Connor to break up with her.
Get
And I was
Mackenzie,
like,
straight facts. Say it again
yes,
for the people in the back.
I'm
Louder.
just
Walk over to the boys,
confused
actually.
why. I know she should.
And be like,
Um,
well, I mean, but like he stuck it out with you and blah blah blah, so you owe him.
it's like I
I
don't
was on an
actually.
emotional roller coaster because of him. Instead of you telling me I should break up or that he should break up with me, it should have been y'all telling me I should break up with him. Did you know that
Hmm.
he did this? Did you know that he did that? Like she has so many receipts.
She does. And she does hope that Connor can see this is for the best, which
Mm-hmm.
maybe he does. I don't know. But Carrington, we go to Carrington, and he's speechless. Kiersten didn't choose anyone. He's like, it's nice that she waited, but they won't work. And Kiersten feels stupid and that his speech was condescending, and it was.
It was.
And she's just very frustrated and hurt. And Mackenzie, again, real, is just like he was just intimidated by you, and that's why he couldn't really like commit or didn't want to be with you. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
period. And I have to say, it kind of tracks because I feel like with Mercedes, I mean, she was her own thing, but she was
Mm-hmm.
like very strong personality, a strong
Mm-hmm.
presence, whereas
Mm-hmm.
Laurel, a little more soft spoken, a
Mm-hmm.
little demure, a
Mm-hmm.
little more mindful, a little more,
Mm-hmm.
oh,
Mm-hmm.
Carrington, I didn't think I would like you, but I think I do. And he's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, this is amazing. She doesn't challenge me. And I like
She
that.
doesn't challenge me. She doesn't speak for herself. She doesn't have her own voice.
Perfect.
No, I don't even know if it's all that, but like, I get it. Maybe he's intimidated by big personalities.
Hmm.
Like, I want you to compliment me, not overshadow me. You
Right.
know? No,
Which
it's
is interesting
interesting.
because I'm like, Carrington, you give zero like effort, charisma, anything.
Hmm.
So you're not hard to overshadow.
No, like,
Low
what
key,
do you
Laurel
bring?
eats you up just standing next to you.
Right,
He just
right.
smiles and it's like, okay, yes.
Oh yeah, and then they pointed out later, she's taller than you, bro. He's like, take your heels off.
He's like,
See, he doesn't want to be
I'm gonna
overshadowed
start wearing
anyway.
heels. I'm like, that's a good joke, Carrington. Tell more.
He's like, actually, I wore some yesterday. I tried them on. I wanted to see how they fit. No, Brandon, it's so funny because Kiersten tells the girls that speech was very condescending. Moves to a confessional of her bawling, and she's like, I mean, that was just so fucked up, right? Like, why would you say like it really hurt me? Like, she was
That
so
was,
upset. I was
yeah.
like, dang, sis, you downplayed your feelings and like you let it all out.
She almost let it slip with the girls because I think Justine was like, yeah, it was a fucked up speech. And she was like, right. And then she started to cry in the confessional. I was like,
She was big mad. It's just the literally comedic timing again. The transition from her being like, yeah, that was really messed up. So be like, oh my god, that was so fucked up. Like, why would it hurt me?
is Kiersten a
Like,
comedy queen? She might be.
no, but it's a valid question. Like, he was super condescending because it goes back to the boys after this.
Hmm. And even Calvin and Caleb, they're like, Carrington, your speech was fucked up. And he's like,
He just shrugs his shoulder. Karen doesn't give two shits. He's like, how was it fucked up? Unless he did
right,
say something real and they probably didn't show it. But like, I
doubtful.
don't know. I
Mm.
don't know. He's like, but it just won't work with her. It's not gonna work.
It's like
Whatever.
fair, but like you could at least be a little nice. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
I did like that Calvin and Caleb called him out and were like real with him.
No,
I was like, okay.
those two guys are very regardless of sketchy possible activities outside of the villa,
Hmm.
they are very level-headed. I actually appreciate two men in the villa who are checking the other men to be like, okay, but we're not gonna live in delusions, right? Like,
Agree.
that was rude, right? Like, well, you need
Yeah.
to take a responsibility, right? Like they speak
I don't understand what you're
reason.
talking about. Like, I'm a finance bro and she's a bottle girl. So like, what are we
I'm better
saying?
than her in all capacities. Like
Right.
we're not equally yokes or whatever. Like, we're
Mm.
supposed to be like matching each other and compliment each other. How do I compliment a bottle girl?
It's like, I don't know, Carrington. Um,
Oh.
Cely was excited to see Johnny, but said that they need to talk. But then she mentions how he said they need to talk, but it's not a big
Mm-hmm.
deal. And that he said it's nothing that she didn't do. And
Mm-hmm.
Justine was like, what does he mean by that? And then I'm like, how do you know what she did, sir?
Yeah.
Also, don't try to act like it was just a game, because as we know, it wasn't.
The
Um,
way that Johnny, well, we're gonna see it soon, but
oh yeah.
I was like, he undersold the news that he had to share with her. He was definitely not being forthcoming.
I don't think he was
Um,
being forthcoming at all this episode.
and that's why I'm like, I wanted to see her. We didn't see it, but I wanted to see her ask someone, okay, what was Mercedes like? Caleb, what was Mercedes like? Calvin, like somebody keep it a buck with her so she knows, because Johnny's not
Right.
gonna tell her everything. I understand now why her going home and watching Casa was hard.
Oh yeah. But they finally chat.
Oh wait,
Oh
did you
yes.
hear Carrington told the guys? He's like, I mean, like, what did you want me to say? I mean, I'm sorry none of the guys were interested in her. About Kiersten. So the fact that you assume that it was because none of the guys were interested in her is crazy.
Literally, like, I would imagine any of those guys would be happy to be with Kirsten. She wasn't into them.
Yeah. And Jalen says it later, like all of the guys that came to Casa Amor really wanted, who really liked you. So like Carrington really, if you are not interesting to Carrington, you're not valuable in his eyes to anybody. It's like, I mean, I
Right.
get it. Like they probably just think she's a dumb bitch like I do. Like it's crazy.
He's
He's
an
so
insane
mean.
person.
But yes,
Uh,
we can move on.
Johnny and Sally. He keeps saying he's like, you have nothing to worry about. And anytime someone starts a conversation with that, you have everything to worry about. He says there was a girl that was forward and like she wanted to kiss me and I like let her and I was just like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe it was like after the first conversation. And it's just like she was just like all over me and she was just like pushing it. I was like, oh, okay. Like it's just like I can't believe this. And Sally instantly is like, okay, but you can't put that on her, like, because you could have
Mm-hmm.
easily not kissed her. He's like,
Mm-hmm.
you're right, yeah, totally, you're right.
He's like, I'm not. And it's like,
You
yes, you
definitely were
are.
trying to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he's just dancing around this because then he says at night she was begging to cuddle and that he was over it. And he admits to them kissing at night. And that the
Mm-hmm.
next day he woke up with clarity. Sir, go to hell. I can't. First of all, saying we kissed, y'all didn't just kiss. Y'all made out. Saying you kissed at night. Y'all didn't just you're leaving it to be like, oh, we just kissed once at night. No, y'all
Mm-hmm.
made out throughout the night and then
Mm-hmm.
woke up with clarity. What clarity? Because as we saw in the raunchy races,
Mm-hmm.
you kissed her when no one else was kissing and like the round was over and you had this intense, passionate makeout.
Mm-hmm.
So like where was the clarity in the room?
Right.
Where was the
It's
clarity hiding? Under the waterfall? Under Carrington's coiffed hair? Where was it?
was it in Mercedes' bra? Like we can't find
Were
it.
you trying to find the clarity in her tongue? Like what are we doing?
In her
Because
mouth.
I'm sorry, but clarity wasn't in the chat.
It was not in the chat. He's such a fucking liar and he's a bad liar.
That boy's a
She
liar.
begged me and blah blah blah. And Sally's like, but I mean, you did it too. He's like, right. I had my own free will. But then she begged me to cuddle, and it's like, Johnny.
Begged. I mean, look, she was forward, but she just asked, and you could have said no when you didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hello? And Cely just cries and she feels bad.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't try with any of the guys because they were great.
Mm-hmm.
And he tried to say he was like, he knew it was Cely before he kissed Mercedes, but she calls him out again. And it's like, then why would you do it? If you
Mm-hmm.
knew it was me and not this girl, then why would you like just to
Mm-hmm.
relieve some sexual tension do this and like risk
Mm-hmm.
it?
Mm-hmm.
And he has nothing to say
Nothing
because
to say.
liars usually don't. He needed to come up with a lie.
He's like, damn, all the excuses I had don't really make sense anymore. And then she just leaves and is weeping
She
to the
is. I
other
was
side
like,
of the
oh,
villa.
Sally.
I
Um,
felt so bad for her.
I know. And she goes to Justine for support, and she's like, for her, the first kiss was fine, but what's killing her more is that they kissed again, like in bed and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And like she didn't have to do all that to know she wants to be with Johnny, and
Mm-hmm.
she doesn't know what to do because she doesn't want to look stupid or
Mm-hmm.
anything. And Justine is
Yeah.
like, you need to go with your heart and let him know that it's not okay. And
Mm-hmm.
he's the one who looks dumb, not you.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Yeah. And I think Justine said that like he needs to know that it's not okay here so that if you guys make it to the outside, he knows that it's not okay there.
Well, I would
And
hope he
she's
would
like,
know
I
that, but I
want to
guess
believe his
not.
apology. And she just breaks down. This guy broke Cely.
He did. And I think a part of her is crying because maybe she knows he's not being completely honest and he's being
Yeah.
manipulative, but she's
Yeah.
trying to like block that out.
And I think another part is just disappointed because she low key had a feeling this was going to happen. Like this was her biggest fear and it's
Hmm.
come true. And it's like, and she's like, probably remembering all the things she said, like, oh, if he does this, I'm not going to be cool with it. If he does that, I'm not going to be cool with it, you know? So,
Hmm.
and then like I think like she called him out on downplaying it. Like that would bother me too. Like first you're gonna disrespect me and do all of this stuff, but then you're not even gonna own it. Like stand on business and own your shit. You did something bad. You can take responsibility for it, not blame it on another person.
Yeah, because again, are you forgetting? This is like there's cameras. You're on a show.
Right. She's gonna see, stupid.
You're mic'd. She's gonna see it. It's like, what are you, Aaron?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and not this Aaron, Aaron from season 6. Like, why are you acting as if like they're
Right.
not gonna find out?
Right.
It's so stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Johnny and Caleb chat. Why did I again, these there's so many names. I'm like, who the fuck is
It's
Johnny and Caleb? I'm like reading this. I'm like, why can't I envision them? Meanwhile, we are again talking about Johnny. Johnny didn't know she would be hurt like this, and he hated seeing her cry and being the cause of it. And that's just a running theme with Johnny throughout this episode. He didn't think Cely would be this hurt, which is confusing.
I think he's lying there too. Because
Hmm.
that's almost like you're downplaying it again.
Yeah,
I didn't think she'd be this upset. Basically, I didn't think it was that big of a deal. And it's
right.
like, who gives a fuck? She's upset. Deal with that. Like the whole like, I didn't want to hurt you. I didn't think it would upset you. What does that have to do with anything?
That
Let's focus
means
on your
nothing.
actions.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, I fucked you over because I thought you'd get over it, is basically what you're saying.
Yeah, like I mean, I thought you would like whatever. And then I think he starts this is like him cuz Caleb tells him like, give it some time. It's like
Hmm.
an oven. It's hot still. The pot is hot still. You don't want to touch it. Give her some space. And then he was like maybe see how she feels after a little bit, but like be honest and
Hmm.
don't make excuses.
Yeah, like don't try to justify anything.
Mm-hmm. And then so Johnny takes that information. He's like, okay, I won't give her space and I will make excuses because that's what he
Right.
continues to do
I'm
this
like,
whole time. I fucking hate him.
he's the worst. And so we'll get to him. Moira joins Sully
This
in the
was
makeup
so
room.
fucking bizarre to me, Brandon.
This was amazing. She just starts sobbing and she's just like, my heart isn't in it, and like I just really want to find love, and I feel like everyone's here finding love and it's Love Island, but like I don't really fuck with Aaron like that, but I thought I did, and like and like the thing is, you and Johnny helped me see like that you could find love and it's possible, and Sally's like, girl, just wait. Johnny did
It's
me
just
so dirty.
right.
She's like, hold on 1 second. And then
Yeah.
Moira just is wondering, she's like, am I the problem because I'm not finding love?
She's
And
like,
I'm
this is Love
like,
Island. We're supposed to find love here.
I don't think, no, because like, you're not guaranteed to find love.
Oh,
This
her
response
expectations
is
are high.
interesting. They are. But
It is.
her and Sally were funny though. They were just crying together and like fixing their makeup. And she's like, we look horrible.
And then they leave to go like get wine. And I was like, what the hell was that? Cause like Moira comes in and Sally's like sniffling and stuff, and she's like, how are you? Or something. And then Moira's just like, I can't.
It's just
And
so
it's like,
bad.
what?
It's like, wait a minute, what happened? I thought you were so happy.
Moira's me AF. I'll bottle shit up all day, and then like something obscure will happen, and I'm just like, it's over for me.
It's just
She's
fucked up
probably
because
She and another thing. And then
This happened.
no, but I was
Uh,
like, what the hell just happened? It just was so confusing. She's crying. And then they like leave to go get wine. And I'm like, what did I just see?
I don't
So
know.
Moira wasn't feeling Aaron when it looked, I mean, they portrayed it like she was. I'm sure there was other things we didn't see. But I guess
Yeah.
Moira thought Calvin would come back to her and she's upset and she's like, I tried it with James and that was odd, and then I tried it with Calvin and that was weird, and now I'm trying it with Aaron. I don't know if I could try again. And it's like, you just tired, sis? Like, I don't know.
I wonder if it was like because it seems like that said she was like almost convincing herself that she
That she
liked
liked him.
Aaron more,
Mm-hmm.
and then just seeing everyone, she's like, I don't like anyone.
I think that's
And
what
it's like,
it
oh,
is.
Moira.
She's just like, I don't know if I'm gonna find love here. Oh, Moira, you're so naive.
If
Why
we're
would you
being
think
real, none of
nobody
y'all
finds
are. Everyone hates
the
each other here.
majority of them do not stay together. Like only
No.
well, I haven't done a deep dive, but only a couple of people really stay together, Moira. This show is low key for your to torture you, if we're
This is
being honest.
right. It's to like fuck with y'all
Yeah, and
and then we
record it.
watch.
Yeah, like it's not for your benefit. This is not the Bachelorette.
It's called Love Island, but
Hmm.
define love.
Define love.
And in this season, define island because y'all are in a hotel. Um, Justine and Caleb chat, and she says she was worried and was missing him more than she expected. And he was like, there was no kissing outside of challenges, and I was only attracted to one girl who does happen to be Cher, which Calvin brought back.
Hmm.
And Justine is like, what the fuck is this about? But you know
She's like,
what?
oh, here we go.
Here we go. But I won't let it get in the way because he came for me. So that's
Yeah,
fine. But it's a little awkward. And it
a
is.
little. Hmm.
And then it cuts to Laurel. Why is everyone crying? Good question. uh, and then it cuts to Johnny. And he's having what I could think of to call a fuck boy mindful session where he's just by him lonesome, just like looking up, his like eyes closed, just like
You see
meditating.
him like what? He's like what?
How did I get into this? How did I do this?
We
What
see him a couple times in this like contemplative state.
what did I
He like
do?
walks alone, then he like leans back. He sits with his head back. Brandon.
Mm. So he's meditating. Um, Moira's in bed with Aaron and she just apologizes for crying. And he's like, you're being too hard on yourself. And she's like, yeah. She's like, yeah, man, it's a lot.
He's like, she's like, I'm sorry, I'm crying. And he's like, you can cry. And she's like, he was like, you're so focused on finding love that you won't let yourself enjoy anything. And she's like, you're right. She needs to
For
go see
real.
the Love Island therapist for a little bit.
She does. Poor Moira. Kiersten and Carrington decide to talk tomorrow. So we can look forward to that. And while everyone's going to bed, Johnny's begging for forgiveness. And he just keeps downplaying what happened with Mercedes. He's like, it's not a big deal. Like, it's nothing, I promise. Like, I'm so sorry. And then they
Mm-hmm.
cuddle a little.
Yeah. Well, no, he's like, I didn't think you'd be upset. And she's like, what did you expect? I feel
Right?
stupid. He's like, please forgive me. And then they kiss. Or no, he says the kiss doesn't matter and he takes responsibility. And she's just like, I don't know. But he
It
like
wasn't
holds
just
her
a
for a
kiss,
little.
it was makeouts,
You're
Johnny.
downplaying. And this is bad, Johnny, because this is going to catch up to you, man, one way or another, whether we see it or not. You
Right.
saying it was just a kiss. Because you told her we kissed when I first
Just
met
a
her
kiss
and
on
we
your
kissed
lips in
in
the
bed.
moonlight.
That's not what it was.
No, it was a
Um,
um what's a SNM? No, just kidding. It wasn't all that, but might as well.
right.
uh and so everyone goes to bed and it's the next day And Johnny is just still in shock that she's so upset and doesn't know what else to say.
He's like, fuck, she's mad at me still.
She's
And it's
really
only
mad.
been, she's been like 5 hours and she's still pissed.
What do you
Next
mean?
day.
This is bonkers. This is blasphemous. Why is she upset?
Why is she still angry? When's she gonna get over it?
For real. Um, Carrington decides he's gonna make Laurel breakfast and some dry ass eggs.
Did you
And
hear
Moira,
him? He's like, I thought you were gonna come out. It got cold. Thanks for the cold breakfast, Carrington. But Laurel's like,
your mic completely cut off when you just said that. You must have went so high
it
pitched.
was
That's
a
funny.
very high pitched wow.
Wow, thank you so much. This is so kind. And Cely's like, he never made Kiersten breakfast.
I
I'm like,
was like,
Cely.
I hope Kiersten's not in the room.
Right. And honestly, but even Carrington doing something nice is making breakfast. I thought you were gonna come out, but here you go, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
okay, Carrington, damn.
Basically, it's like I wanted to do something nice for you and you took too long. It's like, well, you could have brought it to her 30 minutes ago before it got cold. Fuck. If you didn't see
Right?
her after a
You
couple
should
minutes.
be a gentleman and bring it to her.
Right. Over here
Mm,
making excuses for I hate him.
the worst. And I will say, Laurel's sweet. And she's like, I just feel bad that there's no one in here for Kiersten. And I really just wasn't expecting to have anything with Carrington. But it happened.
We weren't expecting it either, girl.
Same. And then Cher chimes in. She's like, "Yeah, I wasn't expecting you to be with Calvin. Like, God forbid, but I'm here." And I was like,
And Sally's so cute. She's like, oh, your love
"That's so
stories are so
sweet."
interesting.
And Laura's
Oh,
like, "I
Sally.
know," and Cher's like, "I wouldn't call it love, but sure." I can't. Cher's just like that. She's like the keep it real girl,
Yeah.
and then but it's just like so dry and monotone. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, no, it really is.
She's just
Like,
in the corner, just like, "Why is she crying?"
yeah. No, it's like when I heard her talk to Justine and do her confessionals, I was like, damn, she's a real black and white. Just, nope, I don't get this. Should be like that, but
Yeah,
whatever.
it
I'm
is
gonna go
what it
sit by the
is.
pool.
I
Go
don't
sit by the
care.
pool.
So yeah.
Maybe I'll talk to Calvin later. Maybe.
We'll see.
Like,
I'm in the villa. Um, Moira and Calvin chat, and he was relieved she also recoupled, but she's hurt that he didn't even try to talk to her last night, and she felt
hmm.
disrespected, and he apologizes. I get what she's saying. I mean, it's awkward that they didn't talk, but I guess she could have went up to him too. Because it wasn't like she was single and he came back with someone. It's like y'all both recoupled. So to me, I'm like, okay, well, either of you could have went to either.
Right. And then like I don't know, like it's just not that's just not why she's upset.
Yeah,
So it's
this
obvious
is
it's not
true.
why you're upset. Like you're talking now. I'm upset we didn't
Right.
talk yesterday. Well, I'm here
You were
now.
crying.
Yeah.
Um, and she says she's still 50-50. Which I guess I could get that because she was saying that even in during Casa. She's like, I still like Calvin, but I like Aaron, so I want to like see. And I'm like, maybe she feels as though her door's open, but Calvin's is closed.
Yes, that's exactly what's happening. He came back with someone else, and so did you. So
Yeah.
naturally, we closed the
The
chapter.
door is closed.
Right, like naturally this would be over, right? Like
Mm.
I'm just as confused as Calvin. He's like she's like I'm surprised we didn't I'm upset we didn't talk last night. And he was like, "Well, I assume that you were like happy in your couple." And she's like, "Well, I would have wanted to explore both of you. Aaron deserves to be here." Girl, what does that have to do with me? I'm Calvin.
My
Like
name's Calvin,
and
and I
he's
was just
like
transported from a 50s black and white television show. And
but he's like, I'm more confused now than I was before I spoke to her. And I'm like,
right.
I'm honestly confused too. I don't really get it because I don't know.
She's
For
a
her to,
little all over the place.
yeah, for her to say, I would have wanted to explore it with talk to both of you guys is assuming that Calvin wants to talk to you, which I
Yeah.
think from his behavior, we see that he doesn't want to. So what
No.
you should be doing is saying, Calvin, are you still interested? You know? Go have your moment. I get it. You're emotional, whatever. But come back and be like, okay, Calvin. So like, I know you brought Cher back. How are you feeling about her? Are you still interested in getting to know me? Have that conversation instead of just being like, but why didn't you talk to me yesterday? And why didn't you you know what I mean? It doesn't
I
make
just
sense
feel
to
so
me.
disrespected.
Yeah, Moira
Um,
lost me here.
yeah, a little bit. And he's like, I just feel like your words and actions don't align. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they don't, but and he talks to Cher about his conversation, and she's like, why is Moira moping around? Like, you found someone you liked. Like, get over it. And Calvin's like, I like you, Cher. You challenged me. And I'm like,
She's kind of too
okay.
mean for you, Calvin.
Right? I'm like, and Calvin, I just don't think you're into her. Like, I don't believe you. You're saying
Really?
this.
I actually do believe he's into her.
I believe he's saying it, but I just don't feel it. But
Yeah,
maybe we'll be wrong. We'll see.
we will
Um,
see.
Johnny, instead of giving her space, pulls Cely for a chat,
Hmm.
and he says he knows she needs space, but it's driving him insane. And he tells us that they had said that during challenges, like kisses don't count, which is that weird Love Island straight people rule that they're
Hmm.
like, oh, you can kiss, but if it's a game, but
Yeah,
then Johnny's like, I saw Casa Amor as a challenge. And I'm like,
Johnny.
well, this is why you didn't make it far on the challenge because you're not good at them.
You're not good at challenges.
No.
You think you're very competitive, but you get so into the game that you forget the purpose of the game. Johnny, don't fucking insult Cely's intelligence by saying you thought Casa Amor was a game.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy work.
That's crazy.
We've moved into like the stupidity phase of making excuses.
Right.
Like, oh, Brandon, you just lied and told a lie about me, and it's like, but I mean, I thought you'd like it. It's like,
I
wait,
thought
what?
that we lied to each other.
Right? Like, I thought that's just like something that we did like sometimes, and it's like,
It's like,
no, this is
hmm,
a dumb like this reason is so far from reality, and it is. He just doesn't want Cely to be mad at him anymore, and he's driving him crazy. And this I can relate to. Like, I hate when people are pissed at me, but you need to give people their space. Go do. I
right.
mean, I also know that you have nothing but downtime, but
Yeah.
give the girl some space. Like,
At least
and
a
she looked so
day.
happy before she was like talking to Justine and Caleb, I think, and she looked
Yeah.
so happy before he pulled her for a chat.
And she's like, oh God. And this is where she's like, you let the sexual tension get to you, blah, blah, blah. And he's just like not listening to her. And
Mm-mm.
like she's trying to say something and she's like sitting behind him and he's like, no, wait, sit next to me, sit next to me. And I'm like, why do you need her to sit next to you? Like, you're just being like weird and trying to control because you can't control
Mm-hmm.
her. You're trying to control this moment. And it's just like
Mm-hmm.
weird.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just like, I can't help but be upset. I'm upset.
Yeah.
And it's like, period.
And she asked valid questions. Like, did he tell her the Casa thought Casa was a challenge thing?
I mean, I don't think so. I think he just said it to us.
So stupid.
So
I was
dumb.
about to say, because if he did, Cely didn't buy it. She was just like, why would you jeopardize our relationship? Um,
Right.
you knew it and you still did it. And he's like, we're here to test. I'm sorry it hurt you. I didn't think you'd be upset. I set boundaries, he even said. Like, he's so full of shit. And like Cely was noticing it at first. I don't think she's really paying attention to how much this man is trying to like downplay his behavior.
No. I
If they
think,
have a movie night, it's gonna go up in flames.
I wonder if they will. Just
They
because I
should.
don't know. I don't know when movie night was introduced. Like if it was something that was always a part of Love Island, or they
Yeah.
were like, you know what we should do? We should play them back, all this stuff in the
And
form of a movie theater.
right. Get some
Oh,
popcorn out. It'll be amazing.
oh,
No, I don't know if she'll ever find out the truth. I mean, obviously she does when she goes home, but I really want her to find it out in the villa.
I know. Uh, but then Moira and Aaron
Oh,
chat.
No,
Oh, yes.
sorry. The last thing Johnny says, which pissed me the fuck. This is when
Ooh,
I'm done, absolutely done with Johnny. In his
what'd he say?
confessional, he's like, I know she's upset, but I'm afraid she's gonna take too long to get over it, essentially,
Oh,
to
yeah.
see that this is irrelevant and it will still hurt their progression. And he misses her and he's sorry.
So now he's putting it on her, them not
She's gonna mess
progressing.
up our flow because she's taking too long being upset. She's come back, so we can keep working on our relationship. You fucked up the relationship. That's why she's upset. What's wrong with like? How do you not see that you did something wrong? You need to face the consequences of her
Irrelevant to
actions.
you,
So
not
stupid.
to her,
To you, to you, to you.
to
He's so.
you, to you.
I hate him
Uh,
so much. I was like, not her. This is
he's the
dumb.
worst.
He's taking too long. He said, she's taking too long to see that this is irrelevant. But actually, it's extremely relevant. We need to know that in the real world, when you see a really pretty girl who hits on you and is whatever, that you're not just going to fall for it. Because
Right.
obviously you didn't like Mercedes. Even Carrington didn't like Mercedes. Like, y'all know this is just like a momentary thing. Just
Mm-hmm.
because she's pretty and forward and wants to make out doesn't mean it's going to be a long-term relationship. That's why you get to know somebody first. And the Johnny who first came into the villa was aware of all of this stuff. He said
Mm-hmm.
this often, but then caved in Casa Amor. Like, you're a dumbass. I don't know.
He's weak.
Weak,
Weak,
weak.
weak, weak
And
sauce.
it's like, okay, you could be weak, sure, we're human, but to not even take responsibility and try to change the narrative and try to put it on her and put it on Mercedes is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Uh, Johnny. Moira and Aaron, they chat. And he says she can talk about her feelings or not. He understands either way, and he just wants the best for her. And she starts sobbing. And she's like, I'm just so grateful you're here. And she's like, I feel like I've been forcing it, but being here it's always has really helped me grow as a person. And this is where she just flat out, she's like, I hope you find what you're like looking for. And like, it's not me. I'm like, oop.
That's so interesting. I'm surprised she just laid it out there to be like, yeah, like
I
it's
was
not
too.
me.
I was like, damn.
But then so earlier she said that so I'm under the impression that she picked Aaron because he's a nice guy.
Hmm.
Like he deserves to be here, is what she said.
Yeah.
And so when he said all this, I was like, damn, he is a nice guy who deserves to be here. I low key see why she's
He was.
conflicted.
He was being so nice and understanding. I was
So
like, Aaron, no, you're
nice.
great, Aaron.
He's the nicest guy ever. He's like,
He
you can be
is.
upset. Like, I don't know, I get it. No, this is a tough experience. Yeah, no, you can cry. She's like, I'm crying so much. He's like, but it's good to cry. Like, he's like, what, Moira? She punches him in the face. Moira, it's okay to let your aggression out. It didn't hurt that bad.
I'm
Like,
fine.
he's gonna, it's fine. He's so understanding. And I was like, damn, he is a nice guy. Would I bring him back to the village just because he deserves to be here?
You would.
I would.
uh, so he's understanding, and then he talks to Jalen, and he tells him that Moira wants time to herself, and he just feels like he's in a tough spot because he wants to be there for her, but he also wants to do what's best for him. And I'm like, I mean, she pretty much gave you the okay to do what, like, she's fine with, like, you moving
Right.
on. So, like, I don't know, be there for her as a friend, but, like, you can talk to whoever.
You could. There's a couple of available people. You could talk to Kiersten.
No,
Mackenzie might be available soon. You could talk to
she
you
just
could talk
might.
to Cher. Cher's not 100% sold.
She
You
isn't.
can even talk to Laurel. Laurel might be available soon. I don't trust Carrington faster than I could throw him. Like I
No.
low-key feel like he's gonna fumble that. So
Oh,
there
for
could be some
sure.
opportunities that arise here, Aaron. You have some
Oh, definitely.
options.
He has options.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Kiersten and Carrington chat, and she just looks pissed. I'm low-key obsessed. Um, he does apologize, and he said he still cares about her and wants to be friends. And she's just basically like, look, I stand by what I did and I would do it again.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of talk a little, but then he tells us that I'm not gonna lie, like this did bring out feelings for her, seeing her stand there alone. Like it did. To which I say, leave Kirsten alone.
Please. Kiersten, run
Leave
for
her
the
alone.
hills.
Run.
Vacate the premises, girl.
vacate. He tells her he's gonna pursue Laurel, but wants to be cool with her. And she's like, if what I did wasn't enough, then nothing ever will be.
Mm-hmm.
And so, period. She's like, I made a big statement. And if that wasn't enough
Yeah.
to get you to like at least try to pursue things, then nothing's going to. So we're
Yeah.
done.
And then he was kind of like, but it was a good statement. It's like Carrington, pick a side, man.
Like,
You're
shut
so
up,
annoying.
Carrington. And then they get up and leave. And he's like, do you want a hug? And she's
She
like, "Yeah,
gives him the
sure."
wimpiest hug ever.
I'm like,
Well,
push him
it was
off.
he started rambling too. He had a little soliloquy that he fumbled. He's like, Kiersten, like, I really like you and you're hot and you're cool. I like you a lot, but I just wanted to be cool and like for now, but if something changes and she's like, what are you saying? What are you saying? What does that mean?
What are you actually saying right now,
What are you
Carrington?
actually saying right now? I love how she called him out. She's like, what do you mean? But
You're just
it's kind of, it
talking,
looks like she's
Carrington.
done now too. Maybe this is what she needed to officially move on and be like, all right, this guy is not worth my energy. He's not
Hopefully,
reciprocating the things I'm putting down. I hope so.
right? But she does go to Jalen and she's like, I'm willing to talk to people, but I don't know. And then Jalen's comforting her. And then he tells us that Kiersten was actually more his type than Mackenzie. So he may want to talk to her. And I'm like, oh,
Ooh, plot
oh,
twist. Because you were
okay.
feeling Moira at first.
Not you pulling a tray. And be like, actually,
Actually,
I've
I've been
been
waiting for
waiting for the
Kiersten.
demise of Carrington and
Oh, this is
Kiersten.
so funny because for Trey it was Kiersten too. That's crazy.
That's crazy. Carrington, you should talk to Lauren. Now Laurel. And I'll talk to Kiersten. It's fine. Be okay.
And then
Um,
watch Carrington switch up as soon as he sees like, wait, I mean Kiersten is desirable. Maybe she still wants me.
wait, someone
Um
else wants Kiersten? I always said I liked her.
I told her she was really hot and cool.
I said it was a bold statement. Oh. And so we cut to Mackenzie, and she's like, I'm not surprised Jalen's the Villa therapist, but I
Hmm.
want some more one-on-one conversations with him. Because I
Hmm.
guess kind of the whole day they haven't really had any one-on-one moments. And so it's like, okay, that's planting the seed. We'll get more to
Hmm.
that. This is where now Justine and Cher chat. And Justine's like, I was happy seeing you come in. I was like, oh yes, she's beautiful. I love this. But then I talked to Caleb and he was like, oh, I was attracted to her, da da da. And I just don't want any awkwardness. And Cher's
Hmm.
honest about everything. And Justine, though, does say that Caleb wasn't interested in Cher romantically. And Cher's like, well, he never told me that. And I'm like, well, him not picking you,
It's kind of a clear sign.
that might be a statement. I don't think he needs to go up to you also while you're getting to know Calvin and be like, by the way,
Just so
I'm
you know, I'm not
I'm not
interested.
into you. I
Yeah.
think clearly his act, like, not to defend Caleb too much, because from what we suspect to know. But
Yeah.
in this case, I'm like, okay, sure. Um,
Yeah.
and then she's like,
And
I'm
then
not
she
here to make friends. I'm here to be America's next top model. So she's like, I'll talk to whoever.
That's what she just, she's
Caleb's
like,
there, I'll talk to him. I don't care if you're in a couple.
which is low-key a sign now that she's definitely not feeling Calvin.
Oh yeah,
She's not all in for Calvin.
not at all.
Mm-mm.
Um,
Not even a little in.
no,
She's in enough to be in the villa, but
she's
that's pretty much
present in the villa, but that's all.
it. That's it.
But I mean, Justine and her conversation ends on a good note, I guess.
Yeah.
And then Justine tells Caleb about the conversation, and she says, she got the impression she's still willing to get to know him. And he says he feels awkward, and he says he only wants to get to know Justine more romantically.
Hmm.
So there you go.
He said in the real world, this would be a ghosting situation. I was like, damn, Caleb, you could just go tell the girl.
I
You're
know,
so
right?
bold when you're giving other people advice. You can't just go tell her, like, oh, hey, yeah. Yeah, Justine mentioned that, like, I didn't really close things and she's right. I want to just pursue her.
Let me
Like,
do
you could
that
say
now.
that. You should do
Right.
that.
But it's then nighttime. Everyone's getting ready. They're like, oh. And Mackenzie and Connor finally have their chat. And she says, you know, you deserve someone different from me. And it was really hard making the decision. And she cries and she's like, I don't ever want you to feel replaced. And you know, he's like, you know, it hurts because like it hurts because it's over, but also I'm just realizing it was supposed to be over and it was supposed to happen. And she's like, you know what? I'm proud of you. You're like a grown ass man right now.
Brandon, this was a weak ass conversation because that's basically the end. And I was like, Mackenzie said a lot about why they weren't compatible, reflecting on their history, reflecting on other stuff. Nothing here. Either they didn't show it or it just was a weak ass apology. Maybe she didn't want to bring all that stuff up because she was the one doing the like cutting off. But I feel like if I'm going to break up with someone and I feel bad about it, I want them to know why so I
Yeah.
cannot feel bad about like your reasons are valid. You're not just like, oh, I cheated on you and I'm gonna go be with the guy. It's like, no, like you have legitimate reasons why you're not with him anymore. So this conversation was just stupid. And then like the whole you're a man now, like it didn't seem I feel like either they chopped it up or it was just a very weak ass conversation. Because what do you mean you're a man now?
Yeah. I guess maybe he was being honest in saying that they shouldn't be together, but I'm like,
He said that before.
he said that before, not to her.
Well, he did when he took away them being in a relationship. He was like, "I want to
Yeah.
talk to you, but like, I
Oh
don't know."
no.
He's kind of made it clear that he's not feeling her,
This is true. I
but
mean,
you're right. It wasn't like they were still together, so it wasn't explicit.
yeah. This was kind of a soft conversation, but I guess it's good that they're on good terms. And he
I
wasn't
was
being
expecting
petty.
more.
I was
Yeah.
expecting more though. Maybe we'll get more
I was
in the
even
future.
expecting more from the Kiersten and Carrington chat. Like, why didn't she bring up the hey, like your comments were like shady?
I know,
I
right?
don't know if that's what he was saying sorry to, but I wanted her to like say like you said this and this about me, and I don't think that's cool.
Right.
The whole I don't know if she heard the sorry nobody none of the guys wanted you, but
Sorry,
I
you're
would be
not
pissed about that
desirable.
too.
I only
That's
like
crazy.
girls that other people are interested in. Uh, Johnny and Cely chat again. And he said that last night made him realize how real his feelings are for her. He said that
Whoa,
about
whoa,
like
whoa.
18 different things.
Mm-hmm.
She said she needed space because she wanted to comfort him, but knew she needed time to herself. And she tells us she feels like she trusts him more now because he was honest right away. Run, Cely, run.
Girl, you
Please.
know,
Look.
oh go ahead.
No, you go.
I was gonna say that just shows how good of a person Sally is. Cause if it were me, I would go straight up to all those men. Hey, can I have one-on-ones? Caleb, what happened?
I'd be
Calvin, what happened?
Serena. Y'all
Carrington, what
gonna hear
happened?
me.
Tell me what
Fuck
happened.
you. Fuck
Okay,
you.
Justine, go ask Caleb what happened.
Ask
And
them
then
real
come
quick.
back and tell me.
Find
We
out.
need to
See if you
fact
get the
check
same
this
answer.
shit.
Wait 15 minutes so
Mm-hmm.
they don't suspect anything.
Right. We're gonna stagger
But
these
we're gonna
conversations.
stagger. We got a
Mm-mm.
plan in motion.
Mm-hmm.
But
I would get all of the information. You tell me what happened.
or even buddy up to Cher or Laurel and be like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
"Hey girls, what's
Hey,
up?
you're so
Y'all are
nice and charming. They would
y'all
tell you in a
great.
heartbeat. So
Cher well, at
what
least.
was Mercedes like? Oh,
What was
ask
that?
Laurel what Mercedes, because I almost thought there was like a moment when they were all in the dressing room. It was her, Laurel, and Cher. Cher
Mhm.
mentioned, like, yeah, I never thought I'd be with Carrington. I thought she was gonna say, like, he liked Mercedes. And then Sully
Wouldn't
could
it
perk
be?
up and be like, what?
What about
Mercedes?
Mercedes?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're not really talking about that little triangle,
Nope.
which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it would be funny though, you know, you see Laurel, she's so sweet, and she's like, "Yeah, there was this girl, Mercedes," and like, what if Sally was like, "Oh, what was she like?" And Laurel just flips that fucking whore. I fucking hate her. She's all over my man
She
Carrington,
was all over
but
Carrington, put
only
her
after she was
legs
all
on
over
him.
Johnny. Just saying, she was slut, little bitch, and not like her. But you know, it is what it is. She got put out with the Casa Amor trash. But
Well,
other than that, I hope, bless her heart, I hope she finds love, just not with Carrington.
no, for real. Mercedes has the most, or Laurel has the most that she could spill. Like even the shady ass conversation. Like, yeah, I kind of feel like you know what? It would really be just the I feel like she was here for the wrong reasons. Yeah, she was kind of like all over the guys, touching their faces, touching their legs, doing all this stuff. And then like she came up to me and was like telling me that Carrington's not gonna pick me and like talking down to me and telling me they made out and all this stuff. And like
Yeah.
because they made out in the bathroom. Right?
Hmm.
She has receipts.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sully
I
doesn't
don't
have all
either.
the information. She's too trusting, but it's just showing a good quality of her. Like she's a trusting person. She's gonna take your word
Yeah.
for it, and
And
that will dig you a deeper hole, Johnny.
right. And I mean, I get to an extent because he did right away say there tell her something and say there was something I need to tell you. Like he
Yeah.
didn't wait. Granted, he's not being fully honest and is trying to put the blame on Mercedes and dance around
Mm-hmm.
it. But what she doesn't know, she doesn't know. She'll
Yep.
find out.
Yep.
So, we know they're not together today. So that's
No.
good.
That's a good thing.
Um,
Uh
Laurel and Kiersten chat. And she's like, I'm not gonna force things with Carrington because like clearly he doesn't like me and it's fine. But you and him actually look really cute together. So that's good. And Laurel's like, I hope you find love because you do deserve it. Just not with Carrington.
Leave my man alone. Leave my man alone.
Leave him
Leave
alone.
him alone.
Please.
I'm here for Mr. Right.
Not Mr. Right Now or Mr. Maybe, right?
Right.
Uh, but Laurel does tell Carrington about the combo. And, she was really sweet, all this. And he's like, I'm glad to be with you. And like, it's just great. And now we're back to zero charisma and eyes half closed, 60% battery, power save mode. Like, he's just like, we're back to nothing.
Yeah. I don't think he likes her.
I don't either. It's just, again, I'm not seeing anything. It's just like, uh, I don't know.
I wonder why he picked her. Because it really doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. And this is
Yo, what
when
if
they,
Mercedes came back as a bombshell or
honestly,
something?
she should. That would be funny.
Plot
Plot
twist.
twist. She's like, hey guys, thought you saw the last of me.
I'm
It's
back,
like,
bitches.
I'm
Yeah.
back.
Tell me about your business, Laura.
Hey
I'm here. I'm
Carrington,
all ears.
bored yet?
Johnny,
Johnny, I've been thinking about you.
all the time. Remember our makeout session in the bed? That was hot.
The multiple makeout sessions.
Oh, are you Sally?
Oh,
Um,
hi,
oh,
Kelty.
hi, sweetie.
Kelty, it's Sally. Oh, hi. Nice to meet you. I heard your name too much in
Yeah, I
Casa
kept
Amor.
telling Johnny not to tell me about your dumbass, but now that you're here,
Here
I
we
can
are. Let's be
meet
friends. Uh,
you.
Jalen pulls Kiersten for a chat. And this is where I noticed Jalen always talks as if he's like in an interview.
Yeah.
He's kind of intense, like Rachel
Uh-huh.
was. Like very just like, oh yeah, I totally feel this. And I feel like with you, you feel this. And it's just like great that we're like talking like this. And the thing is like you are amazing. And I think that's just like so great. And just like and it's like, okay,
I
Jalen,
didn't notice
chill.
that. I have to pay attention. It's just funny how at first they're like Jalen is the villa therapist. And then I was like, no, he's the villa manipulator, low key.
No, he
He's
uses
like,
his villa therapist to get close
mm-hmm,
and be like, yeah, Kirsten, you're so beautiful and you're amazing. And you should
mm-hmm.
talk to people and you need to realize this and like all this. You're just great. And meanwhile, he's like, I'm into Kirsten.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
getting
got
in with her by being like, oh, yeah, we're friends.
yeah, he's the therapist with a motive,
Mm,
like not you abusing your relationship with your clients.
right?
Crazy.
And she does say she feels closer with him than any other guy. So maybe they'll have something. We'll
Do you
see.
think she notices him flirting with her?
Um, Probably a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know, because his flirting, again, to me, he just sounds like he's in an interview, so I could see it going either way.
He keeps telling her he loves her.
And he's like, I love you. And it's like, what?
She's like, I love you too. That's different.
right?
That's suspicious.
That's suspicious. Mackenzie and Moira, Eminem chap. And she's like, I need to address with myself why I'm so annoyed when guys don't give me attention. And I'm like, we love an introspective queen.
We do. She's asking herself some good questions.
She is. And she's like, I feel like Jalen is here more for everyone else than me. And I'm like, I mean, you're onto something because while he's comforting Kiersten, he's secretly into her. So
Yeah.
your intuition.
It's
Um,
right.
and then we cut back to Jalen and Kiersten, and he's like, I want to see you smile and be happy. And he keeps saying she should just be open and optimistic. Like you never know who's gonna like be there for you and all this. And like you should just be open to people while not being completely honest that he's interested in her.
Right. He
Just
could
like
just tell her.
right. I mean at this point I feel like it would be better to just say it. Be like, yeah, I'm kinda into you. At least it's
Yeah.
transparent.
Like this is not the movie where you're the nerdy guy and you have a beautiful friend and she just loves you so
Oh,
much.
I just
Like,
hope like yeah, we're friends, right? And like
I hope
you
one
think
day
we could
she'll
ever
notice
hang out at
me.
the soda shop?
Or the
It's like calm
library.
down.
You want to come over and read comic books? Like this is not that's not it. Like you could
You
tell
have
her.
27 tattoos and buzzed blonde dyed hair.
And honestly, Brandon, I don't even think he's that cute. I was looking at his hair and I was like, I don't like it. I don't think he's that attractive.
Look, he's not.
Does he does he look better now that he cut it?
Um, he kind of looks the same.
I'm dead. Yeah, I'm just like maybe yeah, I don't know. He's a handsome dude. I just feel like he's just like okay. I mean, all of the Casa guys were just all right, to be honest. To be honest, I feel like
To be
they were all
honest,
just to be honest. To be honest, I think they were all just okay. But yeah, I don't know. He's like he could just outright just tell her, but I guess he's playing the friend card, so he has to like subliminally sneak in there.
yeah, rather
uh
manipulative if you ask me.
mm-hmm.
Um, Mackenzie says she just doesn't think people understand how their actions make her feel.
Well, Mackenzie,
When
since these
she
people
said
don't
this,
know you.
I died. I was like, Mackenzie.
She's the queen, guys. Like, y'all
She's
need to
fucking
know.
funny. I just feel like people don't understand how their actions make me feel. I'm like, I'm pretty sure you'll make it known. Love you, girl, but
They're gonna know soon.
they'll know if they don't know right away, they'll know.
But that's kind of like, okay, remember, I hate Connor, but I remember early on when he was like, I want to know why she has these expectations. It's a valid
Hmm.
thing to say because she does
That
have
is.
very high expectations for people who are strangers. Like, you met Jalen less than a week ago.
Yeah.
Come on. He's not gonna know. You need to tell him. Um,
Now how he reacts when you tell him,
that's
that's a
another thing.
different story.
Mm-hmm.
But Moira does tell Mackenzie, you're just in tune with your emotions quicker than most, and others don't just don't see it when you do. And Mackenzie's just like, my love tank is not full enough. And like, I just need someone to fill it. I'm like,
And
okay,
Moira's
Vicky
like,
Gumbelson.
we gotta get your love tank full. Think, 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 think,
How
think.
can we do
How can
this?
we do this? She looks so like, how will we get your love tank full? Moira's funny.
She is.
But this conversation was interesting. I was like, okay,
It
we can.
was. It was introspective, I would say,
It
because
was.
Mackenzie
She's
does acknowledge I might be part of this problem, but
yeah.
also Jalen needs to talk to me. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I could see that. Let's see where this goes.
Yeah.
And so her and Jalen chat, and she's just like, look, I don't mind you being there for my friends, like, but I just want more time with you, like one on one. Like it's our first day being a couple officially. And she does say, I felt like Kiersten was asking a lot of him today and like kind
Mm-hmm.
of putting on Kiersten. And Jalen just goes, okay. And then Mackenzie's like, okay, care to add to the conversation? Don't push Mackenzie.
Don't push her.
And he goes on to say, I don't like feeling like an outcast. So I like being part of the group. and like talking to people. And like she's like, that's fine. But even when we're in like group settings, because I think he tried to say, like, we did hang out today. And she's like, yeah, in like group settings, but you didn't even talk to me when we were in the group settings.
Mm-hmm.
And Jalen tells us that this is a red flag and he doesn't understand where she's coming from.
I mean, it's pretty clear. Hey, I'd like to spend more time with you. Well, I think we spent enough time. It's like,
It's like,
I mean, sure. Like him being like, I think today was fine. That's not the topic of conversation. The topic of conversation is how I feel. And I feel
literally,
like we didn't spend.
right? All he had to say was, oh, okay, I was just getting to know everyone. It was the first time with everyone, but my bad. I'll for sure prioritize you.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize because I thought we were so good, but like I can make more of an effort. And she would have
Because
been like, no, that's totally fine. And I totally get it.
yeah, because of Mackenzie bringing things up, she has learned, and she's super calm and super chill,
Hmm.
just bringing it up. And like he low key shuts it down, and I'm just like, you can't act like what she's saying isn't valid unless you have been around her all day. And if that's the case, then say it. But to just
Right.
be like, oh, I thought today was fine. It's like, okay, but I didn't. You
Yeah.
know? Like and then
Mm.
what is it with these guys? Jeremiah, Carrington at first. Now him. Like, who are you spending time with? I want to feel a part of the group. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, feel a part of the group, but like, when will we spend time together?
Right. And like, okay, you're trying to be like bros, but also like you're full of shit because you're talking to Kiersten and
Kiersten.
she's saying this, and you know that you're into Kiersten and you're not being transparent with Mackenzie and telling
Nope.
her that you're also into Kiersten.
Nope. Exactly.
So,
That's what it is like he knows he's doing something else and he just doesn't want to admit it.
hmm um, Kiersten tells Mackenzie that Laurel and Carrington are a far better match than they were. Everyone's getting ready for bed. Johnny and Cely are back to being good. And Jalen asks Moira, like, am I doing okay with Mackenzie? I feel like I am and that I'm doing everything right, but she just told me this. And Moira was just like, I think she just feels like this way and just wants to spend more time with you. But, I agree. Like, I think you're doing everything right, I
Mm-hmm.
guess.
How is she supposed to know?
Right?
Mackenzie told you that she has an issue with something. Who gives a fuck if you think you did everything right? She's saying, hey, I'm concerned about this. And as like the person coupled up with her, you could like pay attention to her concerns that she just brought up to you. Like,
Yeah.
why go to Moira and be like, do you think I'm right?
It's like,
It's not right and wrong.
you're not necessarily wrong. She's just saying she wanted to spend more time with you. So just be like,
Yeah.
okay, if you want to
Yeah.
spend time with her, but you don't because you want to spend time with Kirsten.
Right. So keep it a buck.
You're prioritizing Kirsten, who you're into, instead of Mackenzie, who's your girl. Oh, he's
Mm-hmm.
shady.
Shay
Uh,
Shady.
and they're in the bed, and Jalen questions Mackenzie, and he's like, where did I go wrong? And she's just like, you just didn't really talk to me today. And he goes, okay, but it's just one day. And she's like, I know. I'm just saying. Like, what?
He's really defensive. He's
Mm,
not open to even hearing her out, to
no.
even like exploring it. He's like Loki just denying it. And I remember we were like, huh, I wonder why people mistrust Jalen. And I was like, I bet he comes back from Casa and shows his ass. And he's only shown a little bit, but we're starting to see some red flags on you, my guy, because yeah, sure, Mackenzie's a lot, but I think that as somebody who's like open to sharing that they have concerns about things, the least courtesy you could give somebody is to just listen. And he's just like,
Right.
yeah, but I think I'm doing everything fine. So we
Yeah.
disagree. Let's figure it out. The fuck?
It's funny though, seeing him be this therapist because there's videos with like Monet, his current girlfriend,
Uh-huh.
where like, because she does like a lot of vlogs and like TikTok videos, where it's like she'll be on FaceTime and he'll be like, if she's like, oh, I'm stressed about something, he'll be like, well, why are you stressed? Like, what happened? Like, all this. Like, he
Mm.
gets kind of therapist like and he likes to
Mm-hmm.
talk like he's woke. And I'm just kind of like, run, Monet, run.
Right.
You can
Wait
do
till
better.
he's the therapist when it has nothing to do with him.
Right.
But when he's involved, he's like, but I didn't do anything.
There's a
So
reason why he's invited to your events, but he doesn't have events that you're invited to.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just say that.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, with this episode, everyone goes to bed, and that's it.
That's it.
But this was an interesting episode. This was good.
It was. We'll see how things unfold. I'm curious.
I am too. It looks like with next episode, it's gonna be Kiersten and Jalen potentially. She, I think,
Mm.
says she has a crush on him or something, and he's
Mm-hmm.
starting to really not like Mackenzie. So it
We will
seems
see.
more will happen with them. But
Yeah.
next time we're gonna be covering episodes 20 through 22.
Mm-hmm.
So stay tuned, y'all. So we'll see. I think when I was looking at the times and I saw some descriptions, it looks like at one point four people are gonna be going home.
Oh,
I don't know which
shoot.
episode, but
Okay, I'm excited for that. I wonder who it'll be.
I know. We
I
shall
feel like
see.
after Casa, there was a recoupling pretty quick. And then they were just like getting people out of the villa. They're
There
like, get
was
out.
because it was
Time to
like,
go.
yeah, it was like after the movie night there was recoupling. Then it was like, we're gonna bring Harrison. And then it's like, okay, three more people go home. And it's like, we're gonna
Yeah.
bring Cassie. Okay, four people, bye.
Yeah. Like they kind of were expediting the process of sending people out. So I'm
Yeah.
curious how this one's gonna go.
I am too. It should be interesting. I'm excited. But
Mm-hmm.
in the meantime, that's it for today's episode,
That's
y'all.
all.
Thank you so much for listening. Make sure to rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Leave us a Apple Podcast review. We love seeing those. If you would like to watch us and see our beautiful faces instead of just
Mm-hmm.
listening, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Shade of It All Podcast. And you can follow us on Instagram at the Shade of It All Pod, TikTok at the Shade of It All Podcast. And we'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.